areas in sub-Saharan Africa. The plague of malaria has decimated villages, ravaging the people and whole economies, threatening the future of the continent. This village is not one of them. This village is virtually malaria-free. In this village, illness due to malaria has been drastically reduced. Death rates have plummeted, and productivity and quality of life have soared. Even more remarkable, it has not cost billions. A small investment per person has profoundly improved quality of life for all of the inhabitants here. For about $10, we can help give African children the gift of growing up. This village is only the most recent of areas where malaria has been beaten back and health has been reestablished through the use of well-known methods. We have conquered it before, and we can do it again. It's hard to believe now, but just a few generations ago, malaria plagued the southeastern United States. But after a sustained public effort, the United States was declared malaria-free. In Panama, these same techniques were used last century during construction of the Panama Canal, and infection rates for workers dropped 80% in just 2 years. But today, the reality in sub-Saharan Africa is staggering. Each year, up to 500 million people worldwide fall ill with malaria, and over 1 million of them die, mostly children under 5. Pregnant women are especially susceptible to malaria-induced anemia, which puts their babies at risk. The human impact is all too visible. And without our efforts, many more children will die. Malaria causes enormous economic impact as well. Malaria makes workers weak and fills hospitals. It is estimated that malaria will reduce Africa's economic growth by 20% if nothing is done. Impoverished nations and discontented peoples are also more likely to fall prey to conflict. Fortunately, as we learned in the last century, there is a comprehensive approach to controlling malaria, and today we have even more elimination techniques we know work. Long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito bed nets are the first line of defense. These nets create a protective barrier against mosquitoes at night when the vast majority of transmissions occur. 2 people, or a mom and her children, can sleep under a bed net for up to 5 years, safe from malaria. Indoor spraying and efforts to disrupt mosquito breeding grounds are 2 more effective methods to control infection. There are medicines to help pregnant moms have better resistance to malaria. And when people are infected by malaria, there are medicines that will help make them better quickly, such as novel artemisinin-based therapies. It will also take more work to build up the healthcare systems and volunteer networks so there are enough doctors and workers to deliver the solutions everywhere. To do this takes resources.
The toll of malaria is even more tragic because the disease itself is highly treatable and preventable. Yet this is also our opportunity, because we know that large-scale action can defeat this disease in whole regions, and the world must take action.
Through the President's Malaria Initiative, which works with local governments, organizations, and multilateral agencies, the United States has committed $1.2 billion through 2008 in 15 countries in Africa. The goal is to cut malaria's mortality rate by half in the target countries, freeing these nations and their 175 million citizens from the grip of this debilitating disease. In the small, semi-autonomous region of Zanzibar in Tanzania, where malaria is the leading cause of death, with aid from PMI, more than 230,000 people have been given insecticide-treated bed nets in recent years. The health service switched to ACTs in 2004. And targeted spraying in households is the third leg of their mosquito control campaign. Zanzibar has seen a startling decrease in its malaria cases and quicker recovery for those infected. We know these methods work. The challenge before us is to get these solutions to many more Africans today. The U.S. is, of course, not alone in bringing resources to the scourge of malaria. Widespread efforts are being spearheaded by the Global Fund, the World Bank, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and American Red Cross, to name but a few. Non-governmental organizations, multilateral organizations, and corporations are delivering life-saving prevention and treatment to the people in Africa. In Niger, for example, Red Cross volunteers have been conducting a massive hang-up campaign, with armies of volunteers visiting families around the country. One campaign worker says, "The mosquitoes coming this year will find a formidable nationwide defense shield in almost every house in Niger." Private citizens and groups are also beginning to heed the call on malaria. Thanks to the charitable work of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, private resources have doubled for research into cheaper, better anti-malaria medicines, and even, one day, a vaccine. Although health experts caution a vaccine could be many years away from development and distribution. In the meantime, we need to concentrate on providing solutions for prevention and treatment. Solutions that already exist, that can save lives today.
This country was able to pretty much wipe malaria out, right? Now Africa is having the problem and we can help. So that's what we're talking about today, right?
It's not just governments and big organizations that can help. We all can help. Each of us can make a difference and save a life. Every person, even with a small amount of support, can literally save lives.
To fundraise too.
Raffle tickets, sponsors.
Like having malaria walk.
Like where we usually had a Boys and Girls Club banner, we can have one supporting malaria.
Citizens and communities across the U.S. are joining the fight against malaria by raising awareness and funds to fight this deadly disease. There are new private sector efforts taking root every day, including one called Malaria No More, an inclusive, nonpartisan grassroots organization that aims to mobilize clubs or organizations to support their outreach and educational efforts. Whether it is materials for a church group, or to talk to its congregation, or a teacher to talk to her students, or a company that wants to make malaria its charity of the month and match employee donations. Through efforts like these, we can teach our children about the needs of others far away and show them that every person, from leaders of the largest corporations to the youngest child with a lemonade stand, can make a difference and save a life. The challenge before us is clear. Despite our efforts to date, 500 million people still fall ill with malaria and over 1 million die each year. In Africa, 1 child dies from malaria every 30 seconds. We can change that. Can we make malaria no more? Yes, we can. We know we can create healthier villages and stronger communities by adopting a comprehensive approach, one that has been shown to successfully wipe out this disease. We've done it before with smallpox, we're doing it with polio. Malaria is this generation's challenge. It is time.
Domingo.